You sure this is the place? I asked, releasing the record button on the app. Mabel hated voice notes. She'd told me that 1,000 times, but she knew I didn't have a choice. She preferred long, neatly written texts, and I preferred getting things done quickly. One hand was busy hauling bags out of the car, and the other was fumbling with the phone. Audio was faster. The building looked like something straight out of a crime scene, yellow lights flickering against stained concrete walls, the air thick with silence. Even downtown, where I'd lived most of my life dodging junkies and stepping over God knows what on the sidewalks, I'd never seen a place like this. At least this one didn't reek. A small bubble appeared on my screen. Mabel is recording a message. I exhaled and waited, though I remembered I hated these things too. Somewhere far behind, the hum of a passing car faded into nothing. I couldn't even recall how Mabel and I had met, only that she was now my assistant, and the reason I was in this place at all. Her audio came through. Keep going straight. There's a coffee shop up front. The elevators are on the right, past the parking area. I'll resend the code now. Tap coffee. That's what she said. The sign was still there. Faint, cracked neon letters. The best cup for you and me. I muttered it under my breath as if saying it out loud might keep me sane. The driver who dropped me off had already disappeared around the corner by the time I spotted the parking entrance. Inside, a dim bulb buzzed above the hallway like it was struggling to stay alive. I snapped a quick photo and sent it to Mabel. The place was dead quiet. No footsteps, no machines, just the sound of my own breathing echoing off the walls. Maybe I should have turned back right then. My name's Edwin, and this was the last business meeting I ever attended. I'd heard stories about how buyers in Asia work differently. Late-night meetings, endless drinking, handshakes that meant millions. I'd always thought I could handle it. This deal, though, was supposed to be the one. The kind of thing that changes everything. A house, a car, a retirement fund. You name it. My steps echoed across the parking lot. Too sharp, too hollow. A cracked column stood ahead, sprayed with graffiti in bright green. Don't look down. Something about it sent a shiver through me. The layout was strange. Narrow corridors meant for cars that hadn't been there in years. Arrows painted on the floor. Convex mirrors at each corner reflecting bits of my movement. The smell of gasoline and rust hung in the air. The driver earlier had barely spoken. Just that eerie silence and his eyes in the rearview mirror. I'd thought he didn't understand English. Turns out he couldn't hear me at all. Deaf. Not a word from him the entire ride. My phone vibrated again. Mabel. Keep going straight. You're nearby. Nearby? How did she know where I was? I froze, replaying her earlier message. She'd mentioned the blinking light, but I hadn't told her about that. I brushed it off. She was probably referring to the photo I'd sent. My nerves were just getting the better of me. The deal was massive, and I hadn't slept properly in days. Then the light at the end of the hallway flickered out. Pitch black. I sighed and moved forward, feeling along the wall. 10 steps in, I bumped hard into concrete. I turned right, expecting a corner, but the hallway stretched endlessly. My bag slipped from my hands with a dull thud. That's when I saw it. A convex mirror mounted on the next column. My reflection shimmered strangely, distorted. I stepped closer. My suit was darker, soaked as if I'd been standing under heavy rain. Water dripped from my sleeves, pooled around my shoes. I glanced down. The floor beneath me was dry. A chill ran through my arms, like ice sliding under my skin. I could hear water rushing somewhere distant but close enough to feel it in my chest. The phone buzzed again. I lifted it, heart pounding. Another voice note, Mabel's tone, but not quite hers. Keep going. You're almost there, she said. Then faintly behind her voice went another, a woman's, one I hadn't heard in years. Victoria, my wife. The word froze me. Victoria? I whispered into the dark. Where are you? Silence. Then a whisper. Come on, hurry. My mind was spinning. The air grew colder with every step. My memories blurred with the walls. Tap coffee. The words echoed in my head. That little coffee shop where Victoria and I had our first date, forcing down awful drinks just to seem cool. We'd laughed about it for years. Even made mugs for our wedding that said it, "The best cup for you and me." But Tap Coffee had shut down long ago. And yet, somehow, I'd just walked past it. I looked down the hall again. The flickering light was glowing steady now, unblinking, almost inviting. I took another step, and froze as the sound of rushing water returned, louder this time like a river flowing underground. Then came the voice, distorted, metallic. "Hey, it's Victoria! Victoria!" I shouted. "Where are you?" Mabel's voice overlapped hers, whispering, "Just keep going. Hurry!" I dropped my bags and ran. As I reached the cross-section, movement caught my eye and something crawling. It stepped into the light. A creature, half spider, half human, its face horribly familiar. Mr. Prowley, my old business partner, the man behind the deal, the man who'd smiled that crooked smile while signing contracts worth millions. He was dead. I knew that. I'd seen the headlines, and yet here he was, his neck twisting unnaturally as he looked at me. "Meet me at 11, he said in a gurgling voice. "Meet me at 11. The phrase echoed, bouncing off every wall, louder, faster, overlapping like a chant. I backed away, tripping over my own bags, and hit the cold floor. My phone slipped from my hand. "Victoria," I croaked. "Help me." But she was gone again. Memories flooded back. Late nights, missed birthdays, the car crash, the brakes that didn't work, the money, the greed, the deals that should have ended long before they began. Tyler's face came next, another partner, dead in his office after a mixing incident. Now he stood across from me too, pale and grinning. "You gave us your word," he hissed. The floor trembled. Water rushed in from every corner, rising to my knees, then my waist. I felt it, freezing, pulling, whispering. Inside the current, faces appeared. The people I'd stepped over for profit, the family I'd abandoned for success. "Forgive yourself," a voice said. Victoria again, this time crying. "It's not your fault." But it was. The river took me, dragging me through scenes of my life, birthdays, funerals, my daughter's game, my son's laugh, all swallowed by the current. Then suddenly, when stillness, I was back in the hallway, dripping wet. The elevator door ahead blinked red. This was it, the end. I pressed the button. It dinged softly. Going down. The doors slid open. I stepped inside, smiling faintly. It wasn't fear anymore, just the quiet realization that maybe, just maybe, I'd finally arrived where I belonged. "Thank you for listening," I whispered as the doors closed. "Keep it scary, everyone. See you soon."